Welcome back to episode 15 of Def's Daily Dose of Dota. Today, we've been focusing on EG.Arteezy's Lycan, and you could definitely say it's becoming his signature hero right now. Even with the nerfs to Shapeshift in the 6.82C, or 6.82 patch rather, it's still been very prolific for him, very common in all the tournaments recently, helping him to a very high finishing in the Star Ladder Star Series Season 10 offline finals. We're in game 4 right now, or it would be game 3 since Secret started with a 1-0 lead. And in this particular game, EG's up against the wall. One more loss, and they go home in second, not first. We've seen an excellent draft coming out for EG. Arteezy's Lycan has been supported by the armor buffs of Dazzle, a Dream Coil coming out for Fear, who was mid lane this game, with Puck as a last 5th pick. The Dream Coil being an excellent mechanism to keep heroes in place, while the 18-second duration of Shapeshift allows Arteezy to put out as much damage as possible. Also worth noting is the Visage Familiars, who are going to benefit from Arteezy's DPS buffs of his 2nd and 3rd abilities. And Tidehunter, coming out from Universe. We saw his beautiful Universe jacket at his recent tournament, and now we might see some beautiful refresher ravages. 2.7 second duration times 2 is more than enough for Arteezy to tear apart the squishy heroes like Earthshaker, like Death Prophet. Let's hop back into the game and see the thrilling conclusion to episode 15 of 4D, EG.Arteezy's Lycan. When we left off, Arteezy had been farming. He took his first death of the game. He's 5 kills, 1 death right now, and he could really use a BKB. He has all the other core mechanics, some armor debuff, some lifesteal, some push. He has an Aegis, but he really needs a BKB to prevent him from being burst down with that magical damage. Oh, what's this on the courier? It's his BKB. He's now up above 300 damage with the Howl, and a 10-second duration BKB could be devastating for this Team Secret lineup, who are also going to have to face against that Refresher for the Ravage, as well as an Aghanim Scepter for the Dream Coil. It'll be an 8-second duration and a 4.5 second stun if you break it. They're trying to go on Arteezy here, getting a fair amount of damage in on him, but not enough. Not falling all the way. He's quite tanky now. 64 damage resistance, physical. Almost 30 armor. And the army of minions is coming in here. They're breaching the high ground. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to see him stunned here. The lane has been chopped. Not quite, though. He can almost get through there. The structures are having to be fortified. But the push can continue. Arteezy is low. We see our heroes very hesitant to push up on the high ground. Illusionary Orb coming in. But Secret spread out 5 wide with Kuroki coming back into the fight. We see Arteezy very low. The Dream Coil, or rather the Exorcism, attempting to secure a kill on him. He's at 200 HP and he's 4 staffed away. Will he fall? Not with the support of PPD on the Dazzle. And he still has the Aegis. Our heroes are backing up. They are now drawing our enemies out of the base. The Aegis is popped. What's this? Coming in. Fear would love to get the Dream Coil off. Arteezy's back up now.
Echo Slam.
Big Daddy choosing to get the Echo Slam on 2. And we see a call down, backing up our heroes here. The BKB's popped 10 seconds. He will quickly shred our Earthshaker. Popping his wolves. He's pursuing on the Timbersaw now. Dream Coil being popped on our Death Prophet as Timbersaw is trying to get away. Kuroki has fallen as well. And what's this? This is the Aghanim Scepter Dream Coil coming in. Just tearing up the Death Prophet with that 18-second duration. He's trying to get away. But he will fall to the Lycan.
Triple kill.
Another triple kill going the way of Arteezy. We saw just the overwhelming damage he's able to pump out there relative to his other heroes. His Aegis was popped, but 1,200 gold coming his way. And multiple buybacks having to come out. BKB's being expended too, as well as his own. And a fair amount of toggling on his power treads. We still have the Ravage being withheld for EG Universe.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As the stun will come out on him. But he's quite a substantial foe to take down. The cheese has been passed to him by Zai. And that was one hell of a fight. Now up to 8 kills. He elicited a buyback from the gyrocopter. Though he does have his BKB, he's dirt poor now. And another homing missile coming out. But Arteezy stands there and tanks it. His full team is in support. Fear here as well on the puck. And a buyback coming out from Death Prophet. We see the DPS going in on the melee barracks. Just being too much to stop here. The Force Staff moving him away from Earthshaker. And Arteezy just letting the Necromicons, letting the other creeps stand on the front line. Knowing that these Visage Familiars can do substantial damage. That's 2 racks down at the cost of not much more than Aegis. And now he uses his shapeshift to retreat back. We haven't looked at the courier this game. What a surprise. EG's using their own courier. I don't blame him. I like the blue color. 270 Evil Genius games watched. Good to know. But this Evil Genius game is all about Arteezy. He's pushing out the top lane. That's 2 lanes of racks down at the 40-minute mark. There's only one more standing. And that looks to be Arteezy's next target. He has 4,700 gold. Could choose to pick up a Basher if he wanted, but he has a very good synergy of items here. The Assault Cuirass, the Vladimir's Offering, making a total of 4 items or talents that provide aura to all his pets and Necromicons, being that 5th item. And then the 6th slot, you've seen it occupied by the Aegis. He has a cheese in now. And with a 9-second BKB, he is ready to fight. 6 to 20 is the kill count. That really does tell the story of this game. The net worth has just slid away from Secret, losing consecutive team fights.
Top tower is under attack. Radiant's top
and
tower
Arteezy is ready to push in. He has 70 armor now. A large amount of resistance. He has a 9-second BKB. He is going to be a monster to take out. As they begin to move in, this may be the last fight. The last Rax is coming. But we see the refresher from EG Universe being able to cause devastating damage for our heroes. And he gets it off at 1 HP thanks to the help of that Shallow Grave. And meanwhile, Arteezy's just clicking away on our position 1 farmer. What started out as a very close game, you'll see Gyrocopter now about 7,000 behind Arteezy. And a buyback coming out from Arteezy. He bought the Boots of Travel with his money, poured it in, and with the entire squad of Secret down, and Arteezy walking in, that'll be the last lane of racks for our EG heroes.
Evil Geniuses, victory.
A fantastic game, worth noting that they were up against the ropes in that match. Had they lost it, they would have gone home with a substantial reduction in prize money. But that's where you pick out your best heroes. One of the reasons why I selected this game, Arteezy ended up picking Lycan in, I think, 7 fights, or 7 or 8 matches for this tournament. And he did it to devastating effectiveness. Not as much for his own personal performance. We saw some excellent shapeshifts, but a lot of just very good synergy coming out of the PPD drafts. We saw a final pick of Puck to make it so Arteezy didn't have to go into the mid lane, where he typically, as a mid hero, a mid player, plays Lycan, but instead moving to the safe lane, letting Puck lane against a Death Prophet who would have been difficult for Arteezy to execute. And then later on, we saw the Puck with the Aghanim Scepter using the Dream Coil 8 seconds every time it landed on someone, that they would be kept in place, turning into just food for Arteezy. Also, the Tidehunter, who was a very consistent pick coming out from PPD in these drafts to accompany the Lycan, those AoE Ravages with a refresher, 5 additional seconds of sitting around, turning into food for EG.Arteezy. We saw him start out in that easy lane and farm into a synergy of items that were all really keeping with Lycan's core set of talents. 2 of his 4 talents buff both himself and his wolves, who can provide a substantial amount of damage as well. I think we saw at least one fight where the wolves were chasing down, getting their own kill, while Arteezy was chasing down a second hero that helped him secure a triple kill early on in the game. We saw him get a Vladimir's Offering, very key, that helped get the early Roshan, I think at the 9-minute mark, with the medallion and a smoke coming out for the Dazzle. We later saw him move into the Necromicon to help him with the split pushing, and using his mobility with Shapeshift, and of course TP Scrolls, very important. He was able to contribute to the fights and eventually amass a substantial advantage to the Kuroki position farming on the Gyrocopter. We saw him complete and round out his itemization in the late game with both an Assault Cuirass, once again buffing all his allies around him with the auras, and just using his entirely physical DPS to be increased with the armor aura from AC. And then finally rounding it out with the BKB. Substantial armor. I think he was at 69% damage reduction thanks to his 30 armor. So once he picked up that 10-second BKB, pretty late into the game, 40 seconds or so, or 40 minutes or so, he was a force that was simply unstoppable. That's going to conclude it for this episode of 4D, Def's Daily Dose of Dota. It's been episode 15. We've been focusing on EG.Arteezy's Lycan. I'm not going to spoil it today, but if you haven't watched the Starlighter Stars series, excellent series in the finals between Secret and EG. Tune into it. We'll probably do another episode this week. I'd love to focus on Fear's Puck. We saw some excellent Dream Coils this game. Maybe another day for Universe's Tidehunter. We saw also that come out many times to accompany this Lycan. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please tune into other VODs. I'm available on YouTube. My username is Def Broadcasting, DEF Broadcasting. I'm also available on Twitter. Let me know what you thought of the show or what other heroes you'd like to see done. My Twitter handle is the same as YouTube. Def Broadcasting, DEF Broadcasting. From all of us here at Deficit Broadcasting, helping you raise your score. Till next time.